Mason Pettits is a man who once lived for discipline, adrenaline, and purpose. A decorated Special Forces operative, he thrived in danger, operating with absolute clarity on high-stakes missions. But that clarity disappeared the day a secret military op in the fictional country of Paldonia went terribly wrong. Mason's team was wiped out during an attempt to assassinate President Juan Venegas, a mission that ended in blood, trauma, and questions that were never answered. Years later, Mason isn't fighting wars anymore. He's navigating law books. He's a corporate lawyer now, stuck in a quiet job that feels more like penance than a career. He lives with his wife Molly and their bright young daughter Kate. On the surface, Mason appears to have adjusted, but his eyes and his silence betray the truth. The war never really left him. On a regular school morning, Kate casually tells her dad that a boy tried to kiss her. It's innocent kid talk, but Mason's military instincts flare. He gets protective, and we get a glimpse of the man who hasn't fully turned off his soldier mindset. At work, Mason zones out, reliving pieces of the past. The suits around him drone on. He feels alien here, or not broken, but misplaced. That's when Chris, a former military buddy turned private contractor, shows up unexpectedly. He has a proposition. Chris now runs a private global security firm. He tells Mason there's a one-day job. Simple enough. A reporter is heading to Paldonia to interview Venegas, who's still in power, and she needs protection. Just escort her, get through the day, and fly back. Easy money, $20,000 for 24 hours. Mason doesn't say yes immediately. The name Venegas brings back too much. Chris leans in. I know it's personal. I know he killed our team. But this is just one day. You can handle it. Mason does some digging and finds out the journalist is Claire Wellington. Once an award-winning reporter, she fell from grace after a major story unraveled. Her sources were wrong and her career tanked. Now she's clinging to the hope that this Venegas interview can redeem her. At home, things are strained. Molly accuses Mason of teaching Kate violence. After Kate punches a kid at school, Mason insists he didn't. The argument turns personal. Molly tells him he always finds a way to mess things up. Hurt, Mason checks in with Kate, reassures her, and walks out with a quiet goodbye. He tells Molly, it's a one-day security job. I'll be back tomorrow. Mason meets Claire. She's sharp-tongued, clearly skeptical of the ex-soldier watching her every move. On the flight, Mason reviews her past interviews, a mix of hard-hitting and humorous clips. Claire catches him watching. Doing your homework, soldier? She smirks. They land in Paldonia, where they're met by President Juan Venegas. He's everything Mason remembered. Charming, smug, and theatrical. He welcomes Claire with flattery. You're even more beautiful in person. They head out on a press-friendly tour. Venegas waves at crowds, smiles, shows Claire his kingdom. He claims the people adore him. And then all hell breaks loose. Explosions. Convoy vehicles are tossed into the air. Gunfire erupts. Chaos spreads. Soldiers rebel. The capital is under siege. Mason is thrown into action. Disoriented but determined, he pulls Claire and Venegas to safety. They steal a truck and speed away, narrowly avoiding a barrage of bullets. They disappear into the jungle, leaving the burning city behind. In the wilderness, Mason tries to contact Chris using a satellite phone. He explains they've been ambushed and are trapped with the target, Venegas. Chris promises to send help, but something in his voice sounds off. Meanwhile, Venegas' nephew Pablo takes center stage back in the capital. He's not just trying to overthrow his uncle, he's trying to replace him entirely. With the support of a ruthless general and rebel leader Jaime, Pablo mobilizes forces to capture or kill Venegas. Back in the jungle, Mason doesn't trust Venegas. Claire insists they need him for the story. Their survival depends on staying together, but tension simmers. Soon a helicopter appears overhead, but this isn't a rescue, it's another ambush. Enemies descend from the chopper. Mason takes position and, with surgical precision, shoots them down, even hitting the chopper's engine. More soldiers attack. One nearly kills Mason, until Venegas unexpectedly saves him. Maybe this dictator has layers after all. They reach a remote village. Venegas reveals he grew up here. The locals still love him. For now, they're safe. Claire finally gets her interview. Venegas opens up about Paldonia's hidden treasure, a mineral called linas, used in electronics. Global powers want it. Venegas refused to sell. That's why they want him dead. That night, the village celebrates. There's laughter, food, and even dancing. It's surreal. Mason begins to see the man behind the politics. Claire sees a potential comeback story. The next morning, Mason calls Chris, demanding answers. Was this job a setup? Chris admits, powerful people wanted Venegas removed. Mason was chosen because he's reliable, but Chris insists it's not personal. Mason calls home, telling his daughter he loves her. He thanks Molly for everything. Sounds like goodbye. Their peace doesn't last. Rebel leader Jamie storms the village, threatening the locals for Venegas's location. Claire is captured. Mason and Venegas regroup. They form a rescue plan and link up with an old ally named Bobby. They'll storm the capital, take back control, and save Claire. A fierce battle unfolds. Claire is brought out, guarded heavily. Mason steps forward. Guns are drawn. Then the village's resistance fighters, led by Venegas, appear, lighting fires and causing panic. Amid the chaos, Claire escapes. Mason and Venegas flee through a hidden tunnel to the government palace. Inside, they confront Pablo. Venegas gives him a chance to surrender. Pablo, overwhelmed, apologizes. But just as things calm, General Martinez opens fire, killing Pablo. Venegas survives thanks to a bulletproof vest. But the betrayal hits hard. Jaime arrives with more soldiers. But Venegas rallies his troops. You are not terrorists, he tells them. You were just given the wrong orders. A final battle explodes through the palace. Gunfire, chaos, hand-to-hand combat. Mason faces Jaime one-on-one. It's brutal. Jaime almost wins, until Claire smashes him with a weapon, saving Mason's life. Chris arrives with reinforcements. The palace is secured. The coup is over. Claire's footage is aired across global media. The truth about the uprising in Venegas' story is finally out. Venegas announces his resignation and calls for free elections. Paldonia has a shot at real democracy. Mason returns home. He hugs Kate. He embraces Molly. For the first time in years, he looks whole. Then his phone rings. It's Venegas. I sent you a little something. Mason checks his bank account. He bursts out laughing, climbs into his car, and drives off with his family. Finally free. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe for more epic movie breakdowns. And remember, sometimes the most dangerous missions lead to the biggest paydays.